name is Johnny Brown of Making Love Better Together, and today I'm sitting here with BlackDoctor.org, and we are talking to 4 amazing men about the state of relationships today. So we're just going to jump right into it. I'm going to allow these wonderful gentlemen to introduce themselves.
Yes, Dr. Obari Cartman. I'm a psychologist and author, restorative justice coach. I work with young people. I am 36. I'm single.
My name is Lawrence James. Ironically, I'm also a clinical psychologist. I work in the industrial organizational space doing leadership development and executive coaching. I'm 52, just turned in January, and I'm in a relationship, not married, though.
My name is Robert Ingram. I am an advertising professional. I'm a baby boomer with millennial mindset and body. And,
We can see it.
I'm single.
My name is Jack. I go by Jack Red. I'm a recording artist and producer from Chicago. I also work with at-risk youth, instructing a performing arts program, promoting songwriting and music production. I'm married, and I am in my 20s.
Okay, so let's jump right in. Are black men and women groomed for marriage like back in the day?
I think, when you say back in the day, I think there was a reason for marriage, or at least there was
Right.
it was promoted that way, or suggested that that's an important part of life. There used to be, you have to, in order to have kids, you have to be married. In order to move in together, you have to be married. In order to have sex, you have to be married. In order for you to have a stable, successful life, you have to have this foundation of a relationship, and I don't think that concept really is relevant
It's
anymore.
different, too. I think boys and girls get different messages.
Yeah.
I think that young girls are encouraged to think about partnerships, to think about emotional commitment, to think about being pure and chaste, and boys are taught to play and to roam and to use and to explore and to do all that kind of stuff. It's not until maybe 30 when men start to really think about settling down for real.
I think, historically, if I look back, my parents got married in 1963, that was a cultural norm. And that's evolved. I mean, now when you think about marriage, even the definition, we have same-sex marriage, we have much more about partnerships. And so I think the complexity of the institution now and what it means, to Jack's point, is so deep that it's very hard now to conceptualize what a good, ideal relationship looks like. Because at the end of the day, I think great relationships are born of love and caring for the person that you're with, some kind of shared sense of responsibility to each other and to a sense of family. And you can do that in a whole lot of different ways. That doesn't require, the stamp of, going to the courthouse and getting that piece of paper. And so in some ways, relationships may be in a healthier state today than they ever have been.
There's no way to track it.
Absolutely not.
But that's just state like marriage or not marriage. That doesn't speak to the quality of them.
Right.
I think there's some romanticizing that happens when we think about the old days.
Yeah.
Because I know some old people that were miserable,
Yeah.
but they stayed together anyway. You got men that cheated on their women that were abused, but they just stayed married because it was more taboo at the time.
And even that, it's something that you're tied to something that's beyond yourself.
Yes.
With the concept of marriage, when you bring in the spiritual realm, it's when you make yourself responsible for someone else and hold yourself to that from a pledge that you make,
Right.
But then the question of that, what about atheists? What about people who don't believe in a spiritual bond? Is it the same concept?
And when you look at the concept of marriage and what it means in many cultures universally, particularly between a man and a woman, and it's interesting, you have to kind of state that. You have to state that today between a man and a woman, because now there's other marriages. It was seen from a woman's perspective as something that involves security. And that seems to be something that's either secondary or not even thought of in a man's mind, or many women feeling like, I don't necessarily need a man to feel secure. So things have just morphed to a point where, marriage is kind of like on the rocks right now.
I want to jump on something you said about not needing a man, since we have a room full of men. What does that say to a man that aura and even the verbal statement of not needing a man.
You know, it's interesting. It's a great point you raise. And I've heard this statement from women. It's like, you know, especially professionally, and I'm always intrigued by it because it always leads me to ask about 15 other questions. Like, what do you really mean by that? Because, you know, on the surface, it's like, that doesn't even make sense. It's kind of silly.
Girls, stop playing.
Right, exactly, right. But I think,
You
you know,
want me.
not in the therapy office, no. Please don't want me.
Right.
But I think in my personal life, you know, when I've heard that from women, I've often thought, honestly, I'm like, good. I don't need you to need me. I want you to stand on your own 2 feet and be you. So can we be a partner? Can this be a partnership? That I want. So personally, it doesn't bother me when a woman says, I don't need a man in the way I think about it. Because when you need me in a certain kind of way, like, okay, pay my bills, take care of this and that, I'm like, please don't need me.